Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague. With me, like always, is someone who has crossed multiple dimensions to get here, Noah Bailey. So, we have a just massive amount of stuff to cover. Basically, this is a December recap episode at end of year, celebration type thingy. So, let's just start with
Go
what I
for it.
guess is the biggest news. Uh, Despite back in October announcing that he'll be back in the DCU, not 2 months later, Henry Cavill has not since announced that he's not returning to play Superman in the DCU.
Yeah,
So
that's.
interesting.
I mean, okay. It's one of those things where it's like, at least for me, it is. It's sad because I did really like Henry Cavill as a actor for Superman. I didn't really like how they were portraying his character, the
Right.
character, as far as like his motivations and how he would do things.
Mm.
But I thought the look was great. I thought the actor has the ability. It just wasn't led correctly by those of like Snyder and all those guys. But it's hard because I know I like James Gunn's redoing this whole thing. He's like, we're gonna start from scratch, which I've kind of been calling for a while now.
So
So
here's the. I have a huge list
good.
of random rumors and other things that like have either been confirmed or deconfirmed or we don't know yet.
We'll
One,
find out.
yeah, and it's a massive list. But one of those things is there have been rumors that James Gunn is going to basically completely reboot the entire universe, and he's
Hmm.
pushed back on that, saying we're going to keep what works and redo what doesn't, which makes sense. And some of that involves him specifically going like so like him, apparently in the meeting he was like, we like you as Superman, we want to at least open up the idea of using Henry Cavill in future projects, but right now we want to focus on a Superman just starting out in Metropolis in his first couple of years as a reporter, starting out, which I think is something that you should, especially with how good the Batman was. Basically, just kind of mirror that with Superman. You're golden.
Okay, yeah.
Because uh, again, I like Henry Cavill a lot as Superman. I think he's one of the only actors today I look at him and is like that. He just looks like Superman. Like he's a huge nerd. He's already just naturally super buff. His face just looks like the Man of Steel. The problem was the writers didn't seem to understand that they didn't seem to understand every aspect of the character, which like in the first movie, sure, whatever, it's your introduction, you don't necessarily have to get every part right, but by the time the third movie with him comes and he's still there's just that heart just isn't there. I kind of have issue with that. Specifically, I've taken great issue with the fact that in in the DCU so far, whenever we cut to Metropolis, we cut to the Daily Planet building. There's no big globe on top. I You need the big
Yeah.
globe on top. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's iconic. Like, how do I know what city we're in if we don't have a
Right?
giant
Like,
if there's not a giant globe and an L-shaped building on the skyline, I don't know where we are.
right? So yeah, when Zod is just destroying the entire city, it's like, oh, he's just some random superhero just blowing up New York again. Like, but even then, like at least Avengers had the iconic Avengers Tower, but here the Daily Planet building is literally like I've seen like uh, side by side comparisons. It looks near identical to the Wayne Enterprise building in BVS, which those the point of Gotham and Metropolis is that they are exact opposites of how like cities should look. One should be bright, cheery, always like basically like a futuristic metropolis, and Gotham should be a well, gothic,
Dark,
dark.
Gothic, everything's terrible.
Yeah, but when they're both muted and gross, with no defining iconic features, like that just kind of takes me out of the whole thing. I don't feel like I'm watching a DC movie. I feel like I'm watching a movie. Hey, and then Superman shows up sometimes. It's not what I want out of a DC universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope Gunn's, new universe can remedy that a bit.
Yeah, we'll see. It's one of those things where it's like, he's taking some steps back so he can leap forward, which, ideally is, the proper way to go in a new direction, but it also depends on where he kind of decides to step forward. Because, like he said, I think the Batman with that, I think that's great. And I think if you wanted to build off of that, that would work. It's just how they go about it is kind of what worries. Because this, the Batman feels very like Batman Year One, like street level villain. And you can't really, I don't know, street level Superman feels kind of hard to do. Like you can still you could still have him more, chasing criminals and, catching planes or, not Brainiac Dark Side level things, but still it's still Superman. Like
right.
You can't just have him just gangsters or something.
I don't think you need any big aliens or any even major villains show up in the first movie. Like you could just have Lex Luthor be the villain.
Yeah.
I just want one live action movie where Luthor is in his big dumb green suit and he fights Superman. Like that's so hard to do. Why is that so hard to make? But we just can't have it apparently.
I think it could happen. It can happen. We'll see.
I don't want this movie, and there's no indication this will happen, but I don't want this movie to be, another origin where he starts off in Smallville and then moves to the big city, has to go acclimated. I want him to already at least be somewhat established at the Daily Planet. I want him to already be friends with Jimmy. I want a kind of jokey but potentially romantic relationship with Lois, but that by the end of the movie becomes a full-on romance. I want those to essentially already be planted, but not so far in advance that that we feel like we've missed stuff, but also not too early that I feel like we've done this already. Somewhere in between.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's kind of find that kind of like a good mix of kind of that Superman Man of Tomorrow kind of like enough that he's been established, probably a little further in because he wasn't really Superman at the start of that movie, but kind of he's maybe been Superman for a year or so, kind of. So it's people know who he is, but it's not he's not Superman. Everyone loves him. Bird, eagle stretches his arm out, eagle just lands there every time and kisses babies and flies around,
right.
Kind of in that mix of not fully there, but definitely not just some guy who floats around.
Yeah. And some of my all-time favorite Superman comic panels are ones where he's just being a good person. One of my all-time favorites is one where he's investigating this report of this dad who was molesting or beating his children, and he comes this close to breaking that guy's entire body but doesn't. Instead what he does is he turns him over to the police, kneels down to the kid, and is like, I'm gonna give you he's in a piece of paper with his number on. It's I want you to call this number every day and just let me know that you're okay. You make sure it's every day, because if not, I'll know that he's back, and I want to protect you. Just that. So I feel like that kind of thing where he cares about each individual person in Metropolis on that minute level, and he's just we never really got to see that.
No. Yeah, or there's those panels in All-Star Superman where he talks the girl off the ledge and things like that. Superman really being just, yes, I can fly, but I am also, I'm a person. I care about people.
Right.
I'm the nicest guy who just also happens to have this power. It's I'm not I don't think I'm above anybody. I don't think I'm a deity. I'm a nice guy from a small town trying to do the right thing.
right? And I don't think I theoretically like the idea they were kind of going for in BVS and other stuff in the DCU, where like, people reject him because he's this outsider who has all this grand power. They don't know how dangerous he could be. But just the way Superman reacted to that, I think, was the main problem I had with him. Because like, he's saving people and he's just like looking off the distance, all like, "Oh, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing by saving people? Like, these people worship me, but should they like?" Just be human. That's the point of Superman. You're a human who has incredible abilities. Like, that just didn't.
Right.
Annoyed me.
And by human I don't mean like corruptible and like, oh well, I think I'm better than people. Like human, but also the ideal person,
Right.
like a good person, you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
care about people and do the right thing, and even though I have this power, it doesn't make me any better than anybody else, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's the whole thing with I think that's the thing with Superman that like a lot of people don't get, because everyone wants to do the what if Superman was like us? What if Superman was evil? What if Superman, you know, was childish or whatever? It's like no, it's like, you know, I'm at basically Atticus Finch with superpowers,
Yeah.
like that kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of ideally what Superman's supposed to be.
Like, I legitimately wouldn't be opposed to watching a 2-ish hour movie of Superman just, balancing his life between being a reporter and being Superman. And while he's Superman, he's just saving people the entire time. Like, you know, again, with little things like individual people or stopping burning buildings or trains or like, the bank robber. Just on top of, stopping crime, he's saving people. And then at the end, you can have some big climax with either Lex Luthor or some other villain, whatever. But like, that just, I feel like that's kind of a problem with superheroes as a whole, like their perception, especially DC heroes, both Batman and Superman, and kind of Wonder Woman too. I feel like these people forget that they're heroes. They because they only want to watch Batman beat the crap out of people. They only want to see Superman punch giant aliens. Like, they can't see anything past Wonder Woman being this grand warrior who just fights gods for a living. Like, they are more than that. So to the point where in the Batman, when he does save all those people and becomes a symbol of hope and like the right kind of justice for the city, people felt like that was a betrayal to the character when that's exactly who Batman is.
Well, that's the thing. When you've been force fed like this misconception of a character, and then you get the original again, you're like, that's not right. It's like, no, it is right. You just don't know it. Like,
Yeah. So, like, yes, a big portion of BVS was him saving people, but that was also juxtaposed with people wondering if he should. That was juxtaposed with him questioning if he should. His mom telling him cryptic things of like, you could save people or not. Do what you want. I don't care. Like, that was in the movie. His mom not being very.
And I feel like that doesn't work. That's against their character. Because again, like the Kents, because they raise him to be this just always do the right thing person.
Mm-hmm.
Not only should that be their own moral code, but also like they should always, push him to do the right thing. Not necessarily the easy choice, but the right choice.
Right. So yeah, like I essentially just wanted to be a very basic Superman story where he's investigating something it's too close to LexCorp or some other evil entity, and like, but that can also like, I essentially want his reporter life and his Superman life to kind of both intersect with Luthor in very different yet like creative ways. Like, he's reporting some, I don't know, like either some like politician or some shady corporation that Lex Luthor owns that like he's afraid if he finds out what's really going on, he'll topple his whole thing, whatever. Whereas also when he's Superman, Luther just like is just kind of bitter at him because like I was the man of this city until he showed up and stole my thunder. Like that's just a cool dynamic for us to have, and that we didn't get that at all in BVS. I don't want to get into that, or that's way too much. But like, I want just a. I feel it shouldn't be too much to ask for just straight laced, by the numbers, from the comics characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like again we have like yes like we have 90 years of history of Superman. Yeah. The majority of that making him kind of this always do the right thing kind of character. So kind of just feed into that. Look into some of the just really get into the history of this character, what it really means to be Superman, and do that.
Yeah.
Essentially, I know that's easier said than done, but I mean, go beyond just Death of Superman. Like, see, Death of Superman doesn't work if you don't understand Superman, as we've seen. Like, go into what it really means to understand Superman, understand his point, why he does what he does, and why he believes things, and why he's more than just he's got like I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, yeah, Superman's kind of boring. He has all the powers, and that's it. And I was just like, I
bro.
One of my I don't want to make a scene right now, but
one of my favorite moments, I think this is from the comic, but I know it's from the show. One of my all-time favorite Superman moments is it's in the story For the Man Who Has Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mongol like has him under this mind control thing, and he's like, this parasite shows you your greatest desire. I bet he's imagining himself ruling this world and like conquering the people, because Mongol can only see that power as destructive. Whereas Superman just imagining a normal life on Krypton.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah, like such a like he doesn't like. It's so interesting because like I don't know if you noticed, but like in his dream scenario, he doesn't have powers.
Yeah.
Like that's such a big thing because it's just like he doesn't. It's not about the powers or the strength or control. It's literally, he's married, he's got a kid, his family's there. Like he's just wants a regular happy life. He doesn't, again, it's not one of those things where Superman loves his powers and uses them for his own. It's like Superman is a guy. Superman uses his powers like a friendly neighbor uses a pickup truck. I have it so since I have this, I'll use it to help people. But it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like I have this so I'm better than you. It's I have this so I can help as needed.
Yeah. And it kind of sucks because I can very easily picture a Henry Cavill Superman movie in the vein we want, but just because of the timing and just the way things go, they're looking for a younger person to play him, so he won't get the chance to be that Superman we all know and love, really. And for the record, even in the original Zack Snyder pitch, like he wasn't going to be that Superman until after Justice League 3. So I just don't really I just don't know if I would want to wait that long to finally get around to Henry Cavill can just be Superman 10 plus years after he's introduced as the character. Like, I don't know, I want James Gunn to try to incorporate that Superman, the Henry Cavill Superman, somewhere down the line, whether it be multiverse or just a one-off movie, something. But right now, the idea is they're going to go for a younger Superman and kind of hopefully keep Henry Cavill in their pocket for later if they can. So that's that. Although in a way, it is kind of like just kind of back to status quo, because we didn't expect Henry Cavill to show up until October happened. And
right.
We're just back to how it was. So I was like,
yeah, immediately retract all of that. Basically, it's like,
well, he did give up The Witcher for that, although he wasn't happy with The Witcher, so I guess it's not a huge deal. But still,
he was gonna give up The Witcher anyway, so it kind of just it was convenient. But yeah, I don't think he was really like, oh man, I want to stay on this. But Superman is like, nah. I feel like it's from what it sounds like, he was probably done with The Witcher regardless because of differences. So.
So, before even that happened, there was just a astronomical amount of rumors and reports and debunkings. There's a whole slew of information about how James Gunn and Peter what's his face are gonna do to the MCU. Sorry, to the DCU going forward. I don't know. It's Peter something. It doesn't matter. James Gunn. He's the main guy.
You said it so confidently. I half per second was like, "That's an interesting name."
Peter what's his face.
Yeah, Peter what's his face has a thing. I was like, "Oh yeah, Peter." Oh wait.
So first, it was like reported that Wonder Woman 3 was canceled and they were not going forward with anything. Oh no, what's her name? Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
Like, and then Patty Jenkins was like, well, that kind of was true at one point, but we reworked the script and we are going forward with something. It just might not be as soon as I was hoping. It's like, oh, okay. Granted, after 84, maybe don't. But I don't know. Like, you get one more shot.
You get because I like the first one, even though the second one was rough. You get one more in my book. You get one more.
I want to chalk it up to COVID, but that came out. That was mostly shot before COVID. So,
Yep.
Yeah, just clean slate. Just fix that, and you're fine. So, whatever. Another rumor was Jason Momoa is officially getting recast. Like, is not going to be Aquaman, completely getting recast as Lobo. They haven't confirmed or deconfirmed that yet, but like,
it's happening.
It's happening. Whether or not he's going to
stop, as it should, though. I mean, it's right there. Huh?
That should have been the original plan. Like, why?
Yes.
Who looked at him as like, yes, that is our Aquaman? Like,
well, no, I think it was the thing where, okay, Aquaman's lame. How do we make Aquaman interesting? Jason Momoa, like, you know, that, like, just like that
sure.
Definitely feels like what happened. Just to kind of like, no one's gonna care if it's not, accurate. I mean, accurate-ish. It's like we're just, it's Aquaman. How many diehard Aquaman fans are there?
I think you could make a good Aquaman movie without Jason Momoa. It didn't have to be him. But
I mean, I think they just wanted to throw a wrench in it for fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lobo's definitely a better choice, though.
Yes. Whether or not he's going to be recast as like if someone else is going to be Aquaman, that's to be left in the air. But probably he's just going to be Lobo going forward. I don't even know if they're really going to use Aquaman that much.
You don't really have to.
You can because even like the Justice League Unlimited show didn't use him that much either. He was in a couple episodes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you don't like Aquaman is a staple per se, but like you can very easily have the Justice League without him.
I definitely wouldn't prioritize him over anyone who's green, a Hawk, even
anyone who's green.
Anybody who's green. I'll take fire over.
Oh goodness!
Imagine the deep, like.
I mean,
like the seven.
Is it weird that I think fire? I immediately think like Sofia Vergara, but like.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway.
Fire, not ice. She's not here. Just fire.
No, just fire.
But yeah, like you don't prioritize. I feel like if I were building a universe, I wouldn't prioritize him over anyone who's green. A Hawk, even the Atom, I feel is a more interesting character.
Than Aquaman.
As far as like team dynamics, kind of Like you already have Wonder Woman and/or a Hawk who already is strong and fights with a metal blunt object. Like I feel like you don't really.
Blunt objects.
You don't.
No, I mean, Aquaman's one of those heroes that can be there, but is very forgettable. And like, if he's not there, you're not like, "Where's Aquaman?"
Right.
So you'll be fine.
Yeah. But if they do recast, whatever. But him being Lobo, that works.
Like, yeah, that's perfect.
A Hawkman movie is rumored. Sure. Why not? He was, a really good part of Black Adam, so yeah, give it to him. Um, it was again basically reported that James Gunn was planning on incorporating the Batman's universe into his plan for future DC stuff, and he was like, "Not really." Like those are gonna still happen, but like they're not. Like we're not necessarily gonna build off of that for our
Oh,
Justice League stuff. So
so he's gonna have his own Batman, I guess.
maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Um, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to there being multiple different versions of any given character. Like I said, I'd be very happy with the younger just starting out Superman and a Henry Cavill Superman movie happening at the same time. There's also that Black Superman still apparently happening with
Oh
JJ
yeah, I
JJ
forgot about
producing
that.
Yeah. That's
Oh
still
yeah, the
happening.
like Michael B. Jordan thing, right?
Well, that was the original idea, but I think he was producing a Static Shock movie. I don't know if that still happened. That hasn't been
Oh,
discussed at all. Um,
I mean that'd be pretty cool.
but yeah, that's apparently hasn't been canceled yet. So yeah, yeah.
They have no idea what they're doing.
They have no idea. The, again, this is just a rumor. This hasn't been confirmed or anything, but like apparently there was like after the Flash, Michael Keaton was gonna go on to do a Batman Beyond movie, which is like the thing literally everyone wanted from Michael Keaton to come back to be Batman,
Pretty much, yeah.
and that was canceled. I don't know if it was ever actually off the ground or if even was ever actually going to happen. Like if it was ever even the script.
I mean, Keaton. I know Keaton would probably do
Oh
it.
yeah, totally.
It's just anytime he can do anything Batman, he's in. It's more just like,
Yeah.
are we gonna do this when we might not even have our Batman?
Right.
But then again, a standalone Batman Beyond would just kind of be cool anyway. So
Mhm. You just as
it'd be hard to incorporate that. So it's like you might as well just do it on
as
its
a
own.
one-off thing, and then
Yeah.
I essentially what I want from the DC universe and something they can do to essentially differentiate themselves from Marvel, if they can get the contracts nailed down enough, essentially I would be perfectly okay with there being a Justice League movie like nearly every single year, because you could do so much. You can do team up to stop some alien invasion. You can do the Legion of Doom.
Legion
You can
of
do
Doom,
multiverse.
Brainiac,
The
multiverse.
what are they called? Like you can do both the Injustice League. No, that's what they're called. Yes, but also
Yeah. Tower of Babel, kind of
Power,
like
yeah,
yeah.
yes. The what's the team Owlman and Ultraman are on?
Oh yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
You could do.
like where I was going to with this, where you have a thing where they go into the future, where like if you do have the Batman Beyond universe set up, you can have like other stuff set up like in other multiverses.
Cameos and stuff. Yeah.
That just
Yeah, I mean, you have options, but it's like, do we just throw the Justice League together and go for it? Like,
I I mean like once you get stuff going enough where that can
okay,
work, but like once you have your core seven, you can kind of throw others in. Like yeah, just I think it'd be pretty like I don't know. I think it would be cool just to kind of because I essentially want all these stories to happen in live action at some point. I guess eventually culminating with the Dark Side War or whatever. But I want that crisis so bad, but I don't know if that's in the cards necessarily like right away. But just I don't know. I don't. I don't want them to like prioritize kind of more obvious things over things that could differentiate them from Marvel. Because Marvel, yes, they do have multiple dimensions. They don't have something like Crisis on Infinite Earths they don't have that in their pocket to like to as far as I know, I don't think they have like a dimension full of evil versions of Avengers they could, like, not as iconic ones. Um, and,
not that I can think of.
and,
Like Spider-Man's the only person I could think of that has anything close to that, but
yeah,
like the Avengers themselves, not really.
right. So, yeah, if you, I just think there's so much potential for Justice League like team up stuff specifically, especially if you get a core seven that are very likable and portray their characters very well, and you want to see multiple of them fight multiple of each other. Just just sounds like fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. A couple more things that were rumored but may or may not actually happen. Apparently, Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot were they apparently had already shot cameos in the Flash movie. They've since been removed. Again, I don't know if that's. I don't even know what this movie is going to look like, let alone if they were ever actually in there.
Is this movie even going to happen still? I mean,
still slated for like June 16th.
I still don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to lie. I just don't. Between how much this has been delayed, reshoots, redone completely, different directors, Ezra Miller personal problems, like
yeah,
I don't know. I know they've spent so much money on it at this point, and DC can't or Warner Brothers can't exactly just throw away money, but I don't know. I don't know about this.
I know it's a much bigger movie, but they just canceled Batgirl, so like
right?
Who's to say they can't just cancel movies?
I think they're going to. I don't think this movie's ever going to actually come out. Like, I hate to say it, but like, because even the trailer, like, or teaser or whatever, they showed nothing. Like, I'm like, that's basic. You could have done that day one.
And that teaser came out 2 years ago,
right? So it's like, they have nothing. Like, they're still like, I feel like they're probably still on the drawing board almost. Like, I don't know. But
apparently Ezra Miller has shot reshoots since all of the stuff with him has come out, so I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
But again, like, I've always found it weird that your first Flash movie is essentially Flashpoint. I know it won't be the exact Flashpoint story, again, despite having all the chess pieces in place to literally do Flashpoint to a T. You could just do that, but you already have a fantastic Thomas Wayne actor, but instead you just got a different Batman and do it. Whatever, it's fine. But like, I feel like Flashpoint should be, if not a Justice League movie, a movie kind of similar to Captain America: Civil War, where like, yes, it's an Avengers movie, but it's Captain America's movie. Yeah, it's a Justice League story, but it's really like Flash is like the main character. Like, I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. And the last little bit of news. So there was some conflict around whether or not Black Adam has actually made any money. Initial reports came out that the movie is set to lose $50 to $100 million.
Oh.
Then The Rock came out to say it actually made $50 to $75 million. But apparently him announcing that like violated some kind of like like weird, like, I don't remember exactly, but there was some people were like, did he just commit fraud by announcing that without the studio being like first confirming those numbers? Like, I don't know. That was just a weird little day that happened. Like, nothing came of it, but it's funny.
And this is why Twitter is not your friend. But also, I mean, again, I know nothing about them. The most I know about fraud is lawyer TV shows. But I mean, like, I'm like, is that really like a potentially like legal offense to like say no, this made money, it didn't lose money, or is Warner Bros. Just mad?
I think giving exact amounts is potentially something.
Interesting.
I'm not sure. It probably didn't make money, and he's blowing smoke. I don't know.
It's like Dwayne Johnson personally buys 100,000 tickets or something.
I wouldn't put it past him. You
I
can't do it.
mean, to be honest.
Although, a couple other like kind of funny things after that whole thing happened. First, apparently, Dwayne Johnson has since unfollowed any social media like involving Black Adam and other Warner Brothers social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So that's something. He apparently was offered some kind of cameo in Shazam 2, but declined it. Of course he did. He literally said, "I want to only play with the big boys." If with Shazam apparently not being a big boy.
Because Black Adam's just, ginormous.
Oh yeah, it's a way more popular character. See, Shazam wasn't in Injustice 2, but Black Adam was, well, for story reasons, but I guess you're not wrong.
They also just needed more villains, but yeah.
I mean, but of course, like it makes so much sense for him to show up in some capacity in a Shazam movie.
It's a Shazam villain. I mean,
yeah.
He literally has the powers for the same reason Shazam does. Like, it's you exist literally. That's like there being like Bizarro without Superman. It's
right.
Like you only exist because of this character.
And today, The Rock announced that he has had discussions with James Gunn. And Black Adam is not a part of James Gunn's like near future plans, but the door is open for Dwayne Johnson to, work with them in the future in some capacity, kind of like Henry Cavill. We're like, not right now, but 5-10 years from now, we could maybe work something out. So I don't know. A lot's going on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, I guess, but at the same time.
So, currently, the current slate for DC movies I'll say that we know are coming out, but Batgirl shows
officially have titles, or not titles,
yes.
but release dates.
Yes. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods
March.
Is coming out in March? Oh, it was February.
Is it March? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm mixing it up with Ant-Man. I don't know.
Ant-Man's coming out February.
Right. I think Shazam is... Let me see.
I know March is kind of packed, because I know Dungeons and Dragons, Mario, one other thing is also coming out that month.
Yeah, Shazam is March 17th.
Okay, cool. A card release date. March 17th there. We know The Flash is supposedly coming out on June 16th.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Blue Beetle is still coming out. That's August 2023.
I keep forgetting about that. There's just random movie, and then it's like, Blue Beetle.
Yeah, why not? Like
I'm not against it at all, but
Black
it's so
Adam
random.
ruled, so why not Blue Beetle?
That's so random. Like Blue Beetle, it's like you picked a name out of a hat of every DC hero you can think of, and you just pulled
Vigilante.
Really?
Like
pretty much, like that's pretty much that's how it feels. Like, not that Blue Beetle is by any means a bad character. He's great, but that's like C tier. Like, it's like nobody who doesn't know comics knows who Blue Beetle is.
I think so. I know with the way the DC movies have been made the last couple of years, this wouldn't have happened. But I think, given that this Blue Beetle movie has been in production for a decent while, I think it would have been pretty smart somewhere during the scenes of the Justice Society scenes in Black Adam, you have some reference to either a past Blue Beetle or a Scarab, just somewhere, because I assume the previous Blue Beetle would have been on that team at some point. And jumping straight to Jaime, Jaime was it can work, but I feel just establishing the previous Blue Beetle somewhere in that universe is not necessary, but it would kind of be a nice nod, or at least some kind of connection to be like, okay, like this is already previously established in at least some DC universe, and now you're going into this one with Blue Beetle, yeah. But they didn't do that, so whatever. Still happening though. I mean, there could definitely be worse characters they could try. So.
I mean, yes, but like, I mean, you have to really dig your hand down the barrel. It's like, I mean, this was already a reach to say the least. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's like just randomly doing like a question movie. Like, not that I don't like the question, but like with no build up whatsoever. Like nobody DC, Blue Beetle movie. It's like, where did that come from? Like, that's like, so.
We're not gonna prioritize Green Lantern. We're not gonna make, Martian Manhunter. We're not. No, we're not doing Cyborg. We're not doing Teen Titans. We're not doing, anything.
We're doing Blue Beetle, like, and I hate it because you feel like it's definitely like low key the diversity play because of like Jaime's like, but it's like, like I feel like that's fine if like you have a universe, but this is completely out of nowhere,
right? Like
come on.
I feel Zatanna should probably get priority. Like
yes, like
Black Canary should get her own movie. Like
yes, like there's a long line before Blue Beetle gets his own. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you did a lot of care for a universe that doesn't even have any Green Lanterns at all, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm. But out of the one that died in the flashback scene of Justice League, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't even know who that is. I mean, that might have been a named character, but like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't one. Obviously, it wasn't human, so it's like, it's not any of the main ones. So who knows? But I don't know. It just seems random, and I feel like that's the only. Like, there's no other reason you would pick Blue Beetle other than just because. Oh well, we can milk this demographic. So.
Marvel hasn't had a Hispanic-led Marvel movie yet, so they have that going for them. They got the first woman. They got the first, now they're doing the first. Hispanic
right? Because Marvel has been doing that too. I mean, they've been kind of checking off boxes with like Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, and like they're trying. They're getting all these different boxes and things, and it's like. All right, they're like, okay, what are they not doing? Let's do that. And it's like, oh, ooh, boom. They saw, and it's like, do good by the character, but also, really, like, we see you. We see what you're not slick. Like, this is clearly a ploy. This is not needed at all.
Like, yeah.
It's just hard because it's like I like Blue Beetle and like I guess you could make an argument for him to kind of join the Justice League sooner rather than like kind of like Cyborg because of like the tech advantage and stuff. So like sure, but it's also like no, like no, come on now. We're doing this, but we're not doing Green Lantern. We're not doing Martian Manhunter. We're maybe doing Flash, potentially, but it's like, come on now.
Flash. Oh my goodness. James Gunn needs to. I think not. It's not the most important thing, but I think when you're making Flash stuff, you need to like go ahead and like already storyboard out like 4 different movies or like 4 different like things you want to happen because I don't know what's his name. Professor Zoom. What's his name? Thawne. Eobard Thawne is one of my all-time favorite supervillains because like I love villains who they don't want to kill the main character. They have no reason. Like it's actually detrimental to them if they kill the main character. Like if he knows that if he kills Barry, he will cease to exist. Mm-hmm. So he makes it his life mission to terrorize this man throughout his entire timeline.
Yeah. it's this like insane hatred, like / it's on site. Like it's like one of those things where it's just like it's one of those where it's just like this is absolutely, and of course, and like Reverse Flash is one of the examples of having the same power set, but it works
Yes.
because it doesn't really make sense, you know, for him, how his whole story and everything makes sense because it's part of his obsession. It's like the reason I have Flash's ability because I am so ingrained to the Flash that not only do I like obsessed with him, but I want to be him, but be better and beat him at his own thing. Like it makes sense. It's not just I'm you but yellow. Like it's more to it than that.
Like essentially, what I want is, in you get one or two Flash movies, or even like in random Justice League moments. I want just like subtle hints that Zoom has been there the whole time.
Yes, it was me, Barry.
Exactly. Like, because just like one of my favorite Flash comic panels is like it's a flashback to when Flash was like a toddler. He was going down, or like a little kid. He was going, like about to go down some steps, and Zoom just like pushed him, and he fell down.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so like his entire mission is to be as petty as possible. The entire and I think that would be great. Like throughout the stuff moves and like Barry like kind of notices something,
or like stuff in the background, or stuff or something that just like appears in front of him. He's like that like you don't think much of, but like he.
Yeah, like that came out of nowhere, but you think it's just messing, but it really came out of nowhere, and it's just like you don't think there's something, if Barry doesn't see it, it can't be that, you know what I mean? Like, right. What you didn't see it, Stu Bass? It's like, yeah, but like you don't think the fastest person in the world doesn't think there's something faster until there is.
Mm-hmm. Right. So then when you actually introduce Zoom, like the first, 20 or 30 minutes is essentially in the 31st century showing his descent into madness, and then actually doing stuff to Barry, and like throughout that movie we learned he's actually been just messing with him the whole time,
messing with him just because.
Yeah, and then you can into that with the thing that causes Flashpoint to happen in the next movie, I guess. So yeah, I want and I think James Gunn is crazy enough to do something like that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot. I just don't. I don't think this the Flash is gonna do that. But so yeah, we know that Shazam for the Flash, Blue Beetle, and then Aquaman is coming out sometime next winter. So I've heard some people make very dumb. I feel very who would have thought people on Twitter being dumb? Very, very dumb comments about like with now that the whole universe is getting rebooted, probably not, but that's what people are reporting. Now that the whole universe is being rebooted, what's even the point in watching these other DC movies next year? Because
I've seen that too.
Because they're movies. And
because you're gonna watch it, and like not everything has to be in continuity to be enjoyable,
right?
Granted, that does help, but
like I'm not gonna skip Teen Titans because it doesn't tie directly into the Justice League cartoon. I'm not gonna not play Arkham City because it doesn't tie directly into any other Batman. Like, it just like this is an insane concept. Be like, oh, I'm not gonna read The Killing Joke because it doesn't directly tie into the
right.
Like, but what? What's that mean?
It's this thing, especially with the way Marvel's done things, which it's not a bad thing, but I think we've kind of been spoiled with too much continuity because every single thing Marvel's put out for the last 15 years is all lined up pretty much more or less. Like some ideas didn't necessarily go anywhere, but for the most part, things add up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like people think now it's like, okay, any superhero movie is going to try to mirror that. So it's like, it's all connected or it's pointless. And it's like, oh, no. Because, I mean, even Black Adam, I know there was definitely probably ideas and plans, but it's like, as a standalone, that movie's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like, I'm not going to skip the Batman just because it's not, this universe's Batman. Like, no, It's an awesome movie. I'm not gonna not watch it just because it doesn't connect to anything. Come on.
Right. That's not. I mean, that's not like. I think some one-offs have been kind of rough, and it's like, yeah, you don't need that. It's not essential, but it's like if it's good, you still need to watch it,
Not
even if
to
it's not connected.
not to mention the multiverse is a thing. So
Yep.
like, 5, 10 years down the line, if they do want to do some crisis or some multiverse event, they can still bring in these other random characters from other universes and just throw them like even the the CW universe and their crisis event, they had stuff from you know from the Doom Patrol coming, which was
Yeah.
not even associated with that. They had stuff from the DC universe. They had
Yeah.
Smallville references. They had like
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
bunch of
Even
random
like
stuff.
yeah, Ezra Miller made a cameo in like
Yeah,
one of the Flash like episode. Yeah, they had Smallville. They had like
the
what was it?
Titans.
Yeah, Titans, Ben Ralph's like Superman
Uh
from
huh.
like 2006,
Yeah.
made a thing come back. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like just stuff that just happens. I mean, because
Hmm.
a lot of that stuff were like different one offs that kind of came together. So it's like, it's just good DC content, assuming it's good, of course, but like,
Right. And not to mention, there's I think a pretty decent chance that Zachary Levi could still stick around going forward.
yeah,
Like James Gunn said, he's going to keep the stuff that works, ditch the stuff that doesn't. I didn't see anybody say they don't like Zachary
no,
Levi as like I think the character maybe could be done a little differently, but as far as like him, I think he does a really good job.
yeah,
So
and I mean, yeah, but again, you could say the same thing about Henry Cavill. So I don't know. It depends. It just depends on what James Gunn's gonna do.
yeah,
Because he might not even see Shazam in his like core anyway. So
uh, yeah. So there's just a lot to consider going forward with DC stuff. We probably won't actually like really see the ramifications of it for another 2 3 years at the minimum. But there's just who's to say even James Gunn is going to be ahead of DC for, a year from now. Who knows if Warner Brothers will even exist a year from now?
okay, well, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but but then again, crazier things have happened.
Keep
So
in mind,
I don't
I
know.
just remembered this. Keep in mind, um, they specifically moved Aquaman and Shazam out of this year because they didn't have enough money to pay for multiple movies. So they
Oh
released two
no.
movies that kind of flopped.
Do you really think like it's possible Warner Bros. Could just?
I
And
don't.
if it does, somebody's gonna buy it, right? Like
They are already bought.
I know, but it's like
I, I don't like. It's one of those things. Like, was the merge? Did the merger happen because AT&T saw Warner Brothers as as a sinking ship, or did Discovery just give them a good enough offer they couldn't refuse? Or they're just like,
probably both,
we wanted to merge with Warner Brothers. And like, okay, or was like, hey, buy this. Or I don't know.
or else.
Yeah,
Probably both, though. It was probably a solid offer, but it was probably like, you're going down one way or the other.
yeah. I don't know. I
Who
I
knows?
obviously I want DC to succeed. I want Warner Brothers as a whole to stick
Yeah.
around. They're a 100-year-old company that I think
Yeah,
is
and
a
it's
very
more than just, DC. It's also, Warner Brothers has a lot of other things.
yeah
So, like,
you know Looney Tunes is pretty iconic,
it's hard to
pretty special to
say.
me. It's just that should exist. I think.
Keep it around. That'd
Yeah.
be terrible. No, they couldn't let that happen. That'd be terrible. They can't just let it go.
Right.
Not like Jeff Bezos would buy it or something.
He could. Amazon could just own DC. Why not?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see what 2023 has in store for DC stuff, but right now we're moving on to Disney stuff right now. So, kind of backing up just a little bit, kind of tied in with the Wonder Woman rumors that Patty Jenkins was ousted from that, but not actually maybe. A part of that was also reconfirming that the Rogue Squadron movie was also canceled, which was I think the second time it was announced to be canceled. But Patty Jenkins had a similar statement where she was like, "Well, actually, that's not wrong necessarily, but it's also currently not true." Or like um, she was like, "It's I I was working on it, and then I stopped working on it, but now I am working on it again with Disney, and we're going forward with it at Disney. So Rogue
What?
Squadron might happen."
Like, I mean, I think it should be one of those things where if it's happening, just don't say anything, and if it's not happening, tell us.
Right.
And then that's pretty much it. It's like,
Yeah, like
this whole like it is, but it isn't, but maybe,
I,
but not, but possibly, but not. It's like just
I don't like the phrase "in active development." I
no.
want
Everything's in
screenshots. I
development.
want I want actors to be attached to the role. I want, concept art. I don't want just this movie's in development. It's like, sure it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, in development just means you wrote down the name of the movie on a piece of paper and put it in a file cabinet. Like, that means literally nothing.
hmm So I want, I want a Patty Jenkins directed Star Wars movie. I want Rogue Squadron specifically. Like that sounds, you know, uh, New Republic era, spaceship fights. Yeah, cool. I want more lore in that 30-year period between 6 and 7. Like I want that. Just make it happen. Don't stop being so wishy-washy. Whoever is, causing it to be wishy-washy, probably Disney, all things considered. But like, just, just let it happen. I'm kind of getting tired of there being no Star Wars movies. I like Star Wars movies.
I mean,
the shows are good, but I like movies.
like I don't know. I'm okay without them because I'd rather have no more movies than have bad movies. Because every time you make another bad movie, the overall percentage of Star Wars movies that are good versus bad kind of shifts again. And before you know it, we're gonna kind of get to the point where it's like there might be more bad ones than good ones.
I personally think currently we're in the green, but
yes, but like for how long? Because
yeah.
they keep churning out, losers. It's like I'd rather quit while we're ahead, at least for a while.
Yeah. Honestly, my biggest fear with any given Star Wars project is that we get another Solo where it's just boring. Like Solo.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I tried watching it recently. That is hard to get through.
I to this day have still not finished. I have tried watching that movie on 3 separate occasions,
really?
And every single time I stop. I can't. And it's weird because it is Star Wars, but like it is rough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah. So yeah, don't. Just
don't.
Just don't. Either make the movie, turn it into a series, or just don't. Those are your 3 options. Speaking of a different Disney movie that is maybe, but also probably not actually, but could maybe happen. We reported a couple weeks ago that the Margot Robbie Pirates movie was not happening, but it also apparently maybe is now happening again.
What?
So, according to the director who was attached to the project, he believes that the movie is still happening. Like he is still actively working on it, and Margot Robbie is still attached to it. There's apparently a second, different Pirates of the Caribbean movie with a younger cast that is apparently also in development that is going to come out sooner. But that's what he said. Like there's other movie with a younger cast that's supposed to come out sooner, but my movie with Margot Robbie is still happening. So,
first of all, Pirates of the Caribbean, you can kind of you should just let it go. I think it's over.
I agree.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense that if you're not going to do it with Johnny, if you have to, I guess just start fresh with a younger cast. But at the same time, like you can't. It is possible to make a version that's successful and you just start new. Is it likely? Probably not, but it's possible.
Like, I think Margot Robbie, she's definitely not a bad choice to try to lead that franchise.
No.
But I don't know. It seems, it's again just like with some of Star Wars stuff. Just either make it or don't. just
that is true. Like this, like everything's being teased or like announced or into. It's like, bro, either give me a release date or just don't tell me about it.
Because movies don't get made all the time, and I don't mean that by like, I don't mean in the abstract like, oh, I want that movie to be made. Like, no, movies are pitched. Production begins. Actors are
recorded.
Then just stop. That happens all the time.
I mean, Batgirl. I mean, it was done, and they were just like, "Nah, I don't feel like it." It's just like, what?
Like, entire seasons of shows for Netflix or HBO are made than just scrapped. Like, it happens all the time.
All the time.
It'd be better if we just didn't know about it. Like, but whether or not this will be one of those, I don't know. But it's a thing that we got to at least keep in the back of our mind that at least one Pirates movie is probably coming out in the near future. So, yay!
Okay, sure.
Speaking of movies coming out in the near future, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 finally got its first big trailer. And it looks good.
James Gunn is super busy, but at the same time, he looks good. So
yeah, it's honestly been. I didn't rewatch the movie that trailer before recording, and it's been almost a month since that trailer came out. And I don't like remember everything about it. I just remember liking the trailer. Not that I thought I wouldn't, but like
yeah, it was good. Do you think kind of anything from the Guardians Christmas special will be a major plot point? Like the whole, like, you saw the Christmas special, right? Yeah, we talked about it. Now, do you think the whole spoilers, Mantis being his like sister, does it gonna matter at all in the next movie, or is that just kind of?
I don't know how much it'll matter, but like, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if essentially if Peter is a little more like protective of her throughout the movie. I think it'll be more subtle. I don't think it'll be like she's my sister every 5 minutes, but like it'll be noticed in the movie.
Okay.
Adam Warlock looks pretty good. It's a little weird introducing him now when he was a big deal in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, but now that's over. But it's fine.
I mean, get in where you fit in, essentially, I guess.
But yeah, it's coming out next May. Yeah, gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay, enough dilly dallying. Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Oh my goodness!
I've been waiting on that. I thought that was the first thing we were going to talk about.
Now that's over. The real deal.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, go.
It's one of those things where it's like when something brings you joy that happened a while ago, and you kind of forget that feeling, and then you just get brought back. I don't know. That doesn't happen often, but that happened with this. Like, I felt like it was 2018 again. Like, you remember, we saw that movie in college a bunch of, you remember that. Yeah. Like, I saw that movie maybe 5 times in different theaters.
At least 3 times in theaters, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I just remember, because that whole, and it's like, there's this feeling, the song, the animation, just the flow, everything, and it came right back, and you're just like, it's like coming back home. It's like, dude, this is this is gonna be so good. And it looks great. I mean, the animation looks great. I like how it seems like, we're kind of more or less picking up where we left off, which is ideal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spider people.
There's every spider person.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a Spider-Man that is specifically the Spider-Man from the PS1 video game in here.
Yes. That game is amazing.
Oh yeah,
I love that game.
Yeah.
I don't care that no one has fingers. It's great.
Like everyone has their own distinct art style, their own frame rate, like
yes,
the way they interact with the world, like just hundreds of different suits, men, women, children, just
go.
Robots, everything.
Yes.
Spider monkey. There's a spider monkey in there. That's great.
Yeah, no, I thought like it was like a werewolf. Was it wolf spider? I think it is. Like yeah.
There's
like there's
a couple of
so
six-legged people or six-armed, I guess. Yeah.
It is awesome. Like I'm super excited. We didn't even we didn't even see the villain per se still, but I mean between 2099 is basically trying to destroy him. I'm just like, yo, out of my neck, bro. Like, chill. But no, I mean, it looks amazing. Just how it flows, and I can't wait. And again, minimum 2 more, minimum. So yeah, I'm super psyched for this. Unreal amount of psych. It's great. It looks like everyone's coming back that we liked, but there's so much more added. There's so much extra. It's basically the first one on steroids, which was already super elite. So,
yeah. And now that you don't need to spend the time, the first 40 minutes of that movie is about Miles getting his powers and acclimating to that.
Yeah.
You don't need that part anymore. So you can just go right into the balls of the wall spider action.
Yeah, he's right into it. I feel like that scene where he catches that bus is probably the opening scene or something.
Right.
He's good. He's doing his thing now. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. No worries.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard for me to go, by the end of 2023. I think it's a pretty safe prediction to think it's gonna be the best movie to come out that year, as far as we're concerned, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening next year, just in general, especially movie wise.
I know Dune is gonna be good.
Yeah,
Aquaman might be another sleeper hit. Guardians is gonna be good. Any other Marvel thing?
Mario movie looks good.
But not this guy.
I mean, no, not this good. But I'm gonna enjoy watching movies in general.
Yeah, June specifically is kind of packed. We got, we have Into the Spider-Verse coming out 1st of June. Then we have The Flash. We have what is it? Indiana Jones is also coming out in June. The Transformers movie is also coming out in June. That is kind of packed.
I forgot Indiana Jones was happening. I'm not even gonna lie. Is it Harrison Ford still?
Yeah, it's his last one. He's actually gonna be de-aged the whole movie. Yeah.
That sounds expensive.
Probably. Or at least for a good part of it from the trailers we saw. Yeah.
Okay. Well. I mean, if they can do it for Mark Hamill, they can do it for Harrison Ford.
Nick Fury was de-aged in Captain
Marvel.
Oh,
true. That wasn't too bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. A very, very small part of me is a little concerned that the movie might feel a little bloated, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. They won't have one of those character reveals for every single Spider-Man. So it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be overwhelming in that way. I do have a small fear of people walking out of that movie being how dare they, not give the Peter from Spectacular Spider-Man more screen time or whatever. It's
I mean, he does deserve it.
He
But
deserves it, absolutely. But like, A, it's not his movie, but
no.
B, there's literally 700 Spider-Man in this movie. Like they're not gonna
Like the fact that you get any screen time is a blessing. This movie has every Spider-Man thing ever,
right.
pretty much. So it's like you gotta, wait your turn because
Mhm.
we're gonna have reoccurring characters. We're gonna have, obviously a lot of it's gonna be with Miles, Gwen, Peter B. Parker, obviously 2099. We gotta
Spider-Woman.
do all that.
Yeah.
So we got to probably bring back Spider Pigs, Noir, like all them. And it's like also I want to see Ben Riley too. Like I want to see a lot of other people, but it's like we can't give them all 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna have to just get a quick like, oh, I saw him in the background.
Yeah. Real quick, I've always had this idea for what I believe could be a pretty interesting Spider-Man movie. I have no idea if it's actually feasible, but how would this sound to you? So essentially, the movie is about just like the citizens of New York. Spider-Man is obviously like, he's a character in it, but it's essentially all from the perspective of people he's saving or people just around New York. And nearly every single main character in the movie is someone who has been a Spider before. You have Peter Parker, you have Ben Riley, you have Miles, you have Jessica. Oh dear, Spider Woman.
Oh, shoot! Hold on. I also forgot. I almost said Jessica Cruz, and I was like, nope, that's not it.
I almost said Jessica Jones. That's someone else too.
Jessica Drew.
Drew. Okay. Yeah.
Drew. I knew it was like one of those catchy names, but I was like, it's not a JJ name, but yeah.
Yeah, you have, Miguel. Like, there's just like every single main character is someone who has been Spider-Man, and when Spider-Man is on screen, like essentially the entire movie, the audience is trying like the audience doesn't know who Spider-Man is. Like essentially the voice is indistinct enough where it's not any one person. And like as the movie goes, like the audience essentially would be like who is trying to like figure out who Spider-Man is based on how character react, like who's in different scenes. Like I don't know, I feel like that could be
interesting.
Right? That sounds
kind of almost
like
almost the mystery kind of aspect, but like they all like okay, so are they currently also heroes, or like is it just someone that eventually will be?
As far as the audience is concerned, each individual character is just a citizen of New York.
Okay.
Like they essentially are putting on their, Peter Parker, everyman, schoolboy persona, but they still could be Spider-Man. Like every now and then, like let's say Miles like randomly like ducks when a soccer ball comes out his head. And he like gets like up. Like you don't, but and he just like kind of acts like nothing really happened.
So you're like watching the movie trying to figure out which one of them is really Spider-Man. Yes. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know how feasible that is at all. I don't know if it'll be like better in a different format, like, but I don't know. I just love the idea of essentially having all these different characters. Like it essentially rewards Spider-Man fanatics of like knowing each individual character could be Spider-Man, and then finding out by the end who actually is Spider-Man. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if it'd be better like as a computer game or some other like a show or something, but
that does seem more like a cartoon episode, but I do like it though. Like a comic book, like a graphic, maybe not a whole graphic novel, but like definitely a comic book.
Yeah, you probably couldn't get 2 hours out of that, but yeah, like a hour cartoon thing could be.
Yeah.
Just as a one-off.
It kind of sounds. It almost reminds me of kind of like the have I got a story for you Batman thing, where it's like the kids have the different
Mm-hmm.
interpretations of Batman. And it goes to different art styles and different
Mm.
interpretations over the years. So like kind of like that, but I think with a better twist. I like that.
Right. Because my roommate and I are watching through Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a great show.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah. And there's one moment where like Gwen ducks when something is thrown at her, and Peter remarks like, "Oh, she you got a spider sense," and she was able to duck that. That's cool. It's
Mm,
like I don't know if she does, but like that kind of sparked my mind. I kind of been workshopping this for a while, but that kind of like re-triggered it. Like, just normal things like that. A normal person can do that, but definitely it helps if you're a spider person. So I don't know. I just yeah. Um, Also, just another quick tangent. I'm sorry, but
no.
just I I really want there to be some spider media that lasts long enough to incorporate Superior Spider-Man in there somehow.
Mm,
Like watching Spectacular Spider-Man, like it feels like this is again I haven't finished it, so maybe it's in there. Probably not, but like because I don't think that really happened until after the show came out, but whatever. It feels like this is the kind of show where that could happen, even if it's just like a 2 episode arc or something. But that just feels so
fitting.
fitting. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
so
would that
interesting
would be
for this character.
awesome.
Yeah, but
Okay. Well, you never know.
yeah, like again, just like with like I said with Flash stuff, I feel there needs to be some some media that they know they need to get there at some point. Right away, doesn't have to be right away, just at some point.
No, at some point we
Yeah.
need this to happen. I don't care. Like we got to build it to get there. It has to be earned,
Like
but I
obviously we're
still want
gonna
to
do
get there.
good goblin stuff. We're gonna do your Venoms and your Cravens and
Yeah,
your whoever else, but we gotta do Doc Ock takes over his mind at some point.
just because.
And just I love that comic panel where like as soon as Peter Parker like ejects Ock from his brain, he's fighting Goblin. He makes some quip, and Green Goblin's like, "Wait, Peter, is that you?" It's like,
Look, what?
as soon as he like just like Green Goblin knows him so well, he's able to instantly determine like you're not. You're like something changed in you.
Right.
That's cool. Um, but yeah, Across Spider Verse coming out next June. It's gonna be
So excited.
fantastic. um, so there's a couple of just rapid fire things. Um, so Henry Cavill may have left, both The Witcher and DC, but um, apparently, like the same day or the day after, like just after he was announced to be no longer Superman, he was announced to potentially star in a Warhammer 40K show that's being produced by Amazon. It's not important that you know what Warhammer is, but just know that he's a big Warhammer fan. So
Okay.
that's cool.
Good for him.
He's a
That's the
huge
dream,
nerd.
honestly.
Yeah.
Be like becoming an actor and then be able to play in things that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's the like. If you were an actor and then you got to play Batman, I mean, that's the dream. Like,
Right.
that'd be the greatest thing. Like, I would love that. Like, I don't think I would because like. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
What's better than that?
Right. Like,
Like,
I mean, at least at first, he, like him playing in The Witcher was his biggest dream ever because he read the books before the games even came out. So like he was a
right?
huge Witcher nerd and getting to play that character for as long as they would actually let him be Geralt as he envisioned him. You know, was really cool, but that ended up not working out. But as long as he can at least, and Amazon is usually pretty good about making good stuff. So, if as long as Henry Cavill is happy with it, you know, um, yeah, good for him. Um, let's see. So how much of the Pokemon anime have you watched?
Literally none.
Oh,
I
okay.
was not allowed to watch Pokemon growing
Right.
up, so I've
Right.
never seen any of it.
Um, so in just monumental Pokemon news, Ash Ketchum is officially leaving the show as the main character.
Yes, I did hear that,
Yes.
which is like
After
end of an era.
after 20 plus, I think 25 years almost.
I think
23?
he finally caught them all.
Well, not quite, but he did finally win like the big tournament of champions at the end of the last season.
Finally.
And, yeah, he won his first official like real, well, technically second, but his first like based on the game's official league battle tournament at the end of the Gen 7 anime, and then at the end of this one, the big tournament of champions. He was a part of it, and he won. So now they're like, well, you're done.
Well, he did it. He became the very best. So it's like
statistically the
that
best.
no one ever was. So it's like,
you can't. That's the main problem. People were like, how are they gonna do it with? How are they gonna have a show where Ash is literally the champion, and then go to another region and lose any fight? How does that happen? But they just circumvent that decision by just not having him in the show anymore. So
yeah.
yeah.
Which I think that's kind of what you just kind of have to do, because whether a lot of shows because like Yu-Gi-Oh was kind of the same, because it was like, all right, season 1, King of Games, and it's like, okay, so it's all downhill from here, or like how do it's
Right.
kind of just like you felt bad because he was gonna win, but it's like I feel like there should be levels to it. It's just not you're the best in the world off the bat. It's just kind of like
Yugi technically has the biggest win-loss ratio of any main character from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
because what's his name? Jaden from GX never lost a single. I mean, he lost like 2 ever. Yusei from 5D's lost like again 1 or 2, and then I don't even care about the.
I don't even. No, I didn't. I don't. Yeah, the only. I'm trying to think. The only duel I remember Yugi ever losing that was like actually like I don't think he ever lost an actual like tournament duel. The only duel was like there was one. I think Raphael was his name with like season 4, and then the final duel with Yugi with himself basically. Yes. But other than that, I think it was the only duels, and it's like none of those are like tournament regulated anyway. So
yeah,
officially he never lost. Well, I guess technically he lost to Kaiba, even though Kaiba threatened to, in the Japanese version, he threatened to jump off a building if he lost. So
right.
I guess technically he lost. I don't remember how they phrased it in the English dub.
I'm going to jump straight into the Shadow Realm.
Basically, something like that, yeah. But like in the Japanese, it was like, yeah, basically if I lose this duel, I'm just going to kill with it. So he's like, Pharaoh was like, well, that's your move. And he's like, no, Pharaoh. No, we're not gonna resort to that. But
see, I think he's lost 4 battles. I can't think of a 4th one, but I think he lost 4.
Yeah, probably. Like it wasn't many, but it was.
Yeah.
I should know though, because I've seen that whole
that
show.
one against the Orichalcos guy.
Yes.
And then
because it's that one, Kaiba. Final duel, and I guess
did he lose to Joey once? Like let him win or something?
I
feel like he let somebody win. Yeah,
maybe
he let that little girl win.
Did she?
The girl with the teddy bear? Yeah, like his next.
Yeah.
His
Rebecca.
next card would have let him win,
did.
but
he probably did. No one knew. He probably did.
Yeah.
But again, that's not like a.
It goes on the record. Sorry.
all I know is that like. The tournament duels will be ridiculous. Like I remember one time, I think it was Grand Championship. The antagonist literally hacked the system, made a card that was literally unbeatable, and it was like you still beat him somehow.
Yep.
I was just like, oh.
Because he can.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, like literally, it was like one of the it was like this card's effect makes you throw out your entire hand or something, like your half your deck every turn. Like, well, I only have 1 card left, so technically I can't do half. And I'm like, oh, really? Like that's like that's so like and he somehow beat him on that turn. I was just like, okay, whatever. But, I don't know. Like it's fun, but it's also like that doesn't even make any sense.
which these words aren't going to make sense to you, but just roll with it. In whichever season of Yu-Gi-Oh, of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, which introduced pendulum summoning, don't worry about it. It was either that or link summoning. I'm pretty sure it was pendulum.
I don't know. Both are trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're very dumb. They're just like new ways to summon things. I can't. I just normal and special summon anymore. Whatever happened to fusion?
They keep making it easier and easier, and it's like at this point, it doesn't even like whoever goes first wins. Like it doesn't even matter. It's just
more.
Like,
yeah, but in that show, the main character literally invented the cards that allowed him to pendulum summon, and just mid duel he started doing it. And it was like he's literally using cards that aren't regulated, and like no one called him out for it. He just wins because he can do things other people can't.
Yeah, you just made up the rules on the fly. You're just like, okay, seems legit. I mean, really?
We got into Kaiba first episode for summoning a bunch of monsters without
right.
Whatever.
Well, that's why pendulum summoning's so dumb. It's just like, oh yeah, I can summon everything if I have these 2 cards I can put at any point. And it's just like, I feel like that's way too easy. Like you don't even have to do anything. You just draw the right cards, you win. It's like,
yeah, and then like with link summoning, they kind of tried to nerf it by like, you can only special summon to things that this link summon monster is pointing to in those spots. But like,
so stupid. Like what? Like that's, I mean, like you can tell they're running out of ideas. That doesn't even make sense. I'm like, just go back. Like,
just print more cards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to make new methods of summoning. Just make more cards. Like,
right.
Again, I'm fine with everything up to like I'll let like what is it XYZ summon or whatever. Yeah. Like I'll let that slide. That's okay. That's still annoying to me. Anything after that, absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
Absolutely unacceptable. Like synchro summoning's fine. It's basically just like
fancy fusion.
Yeah, pretty much. It's because like fusion summoning, like we actually have to get polymerization is actually trash because like no one's gonna have like what you're gonna have 3 polymerizations and then just brick. Like I mean, you gotta like it's too much of a hassle. So I'll take that, but like after that, I'm like no, that's just. You don't even. That's not even strategy. That's just look what I got. Boom.
But kind of like going off Yu-Gi-Oh, I kind of want there to be situations in the Pokemon anime going forward where like Ash could show up along the way, and it's kind of a big deal. Like, various characters from the original show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that sounds like fun. Like not very often. Like I don't want this new character to be Ash's kid or whatever. I want her to just be this random new person who like bumps into Ash like you're the world champion. Wow, like what are you doing here? It's like I'm just exploring.
Well, no, I mean that's what they should do. They should build it up where it's like they just do their thing. Certain characters could be gym leaders or whatever, and then they get to the very end and like, oh look, guess who's still the champion? And then boom.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of what they did with GX. I think I don't know the ending never got dubbed over, but like
right. Yeah, the very last episode was a duel between Jaden and Yugi that didn't finish.
Right.
Yeah, it just left ambiguous who won. Yugi won.
He had first of all, if you have Egyptian god cards, you win. Like the anime Egyptian god cards are ridiculous. Like
like Exodia just can't, or sorry, what's his name? Obelisk just can't die. It's like, that's kind of true, but not. It's
like he could have like I think they changed it, but like he could have like infinite attack points if you sacrifice 2 monsters. I'm like, okay, so you just automatically lose. Like that's just ridiculous. Like Ra, you could put all your life points into the attack points, and you can't do anything to stop it. It's just like, like in the real game, they're all kind of suck, but like in the anime, it was broken.
I think Obelisk is actually technically the best one because he has like 4,000 attack, which is a lot better than most cards. He can't be targeted by trap cards.
No, but trap cards that target everything, like Mirror Force still beats him.
Yes, but
so it's like
it's a little more limited.
It's limited, but the other ones have no protection at all. Like Slifer and Raw have nothing. Like you can just magic cylinder, you win. Like it doesn't like it's so stupid. Like
right, like they can have close to infinite attack, but if
Yeah,
they
I was like, oh, I've got 6,000 attack points and nothing. Like I don't
yeah,
care. Like
okay.
kunai with chain. Like I don't care. Like any trap card ever. like
Draining shield, dang it!
right? Yeah, right. Block attack. Oh no. Anything but that's the most simple of cards. Like, oh my gosh, but yeah, I mean, end of an era for Pokemon for sure. But I think I saw like the new like the Gen 9 like starters in that promo art or whatever. So I mean, that's kind of cool. Is that usually a thing? Do they usually whatever season they're on? They usually with that Pokemon from the game. Do they kind of roll with?
Yeah. The Gen 8 anime was the first one that didn't essentially have Ash traveling the new region for some reason. But generally, yeah, the new season will be Ash traveling whatever new.
I didn't know that. That actually sounds like that's actually really smart. Just to like keep the game and the anime like together.
Yeah, that's generally why Pokemon games come out like at very specific points because the anime is running out of episodes, so they got to have a new game to have more episodes about. But which kind of makes me kind of question why they had to force out Gen 9 when they did, because the new anime isn't starting until next spring. But whatever, it's fine.
I mean, it's still good. So like, are we really bad?
Like, no, but like they were like 85% done. You could have polished it a little more.
No, I mean the frame rate, the whole
shadows
glitchy
look bad.
Yeah. The open world aspects definitely needed more cooking, but as far as like, I mean, the story is actually for a Pokemon game. First of all, they actually have a story, which is wild. But like,
yeah, most do, but not this good. Yeah.
No, like that's. I mean, I was shocked because I was totally expecting just all right. Here are the gyms. Go get them, champ. Like, and I'm like, oh no, there's actually things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and like it interconnects somehow. Like that was kind of cool.
Have you actually finished?
Yeah, I finished it last weekend. I finished. I'm doing the post game now, where you have to go back, and I love that. By the way,
yep.
You have to go back and run it back with every. I'm like, that is ideal post game. Like that's perfect because it's like I want a bug gym that's actually on my level now. Like,
yeah, I wish I do. How would they do this? I kind of wish there was a way for gym leaders in the post game to be just a little bit stronger. They're all on 66, which is strong, but like just by the way leveling happens in newer games, you after you take out just a couple, you're already like well past.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because like I battled them in order. I think I started on like 64, 65. By the time I got past
in the 70s.
Yeah, like close to 70.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of my thing because I'm about at like 68 each now, more or less. Some are a little higher, but like I think my starter's at like 70. But like, yeah, I mean. The one thing I do like is that at certain levels, I mean, even if they're a 60 and you're a 70, if they have the right moves, they can still wreck you.
Yeah.
It just, if you know what to look out for, it's not that big of a deal. But like, even because like when I was finishing the game and going against like the AI guy, I mean, not knowing what to use and then getting randomly super effective just against you, you're just like,
right.
Oh, that's not good. I'm getting one shot.
Yeah, there was one point in particular where like if I hadn't set up Tailwind, which is an ability that or move, ability is a different thing. A move that it's a constant effect on your side of the field for 4 turns. All your Pokemon get double speed. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be able to outspeed the ace of her strongest, and then she might have just swept my entire team because I was like 5 levels weaker than she was. If actually maybe a little more than that, but if I hadn't done that, I think
that's what I'm saying. Like if you weren't first, you would have definitely got wrecked. It's like, no, Oh, right. Because it's yours. You got Scarlet, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's because it's like. So is it his mom in the bat version? Okay, I guess that makes way more sense. So I totally forgot. I was like, who is she? And I was like, oh, he's got the other version. Yeah. So I've got the dad. Is it no? So wait. It's other than the legendary and the professor or whatever. Is there any other like character differences?
As far as characters, not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Pokemon
because like,
wise, there's
yeah,
all of the Paradox Pokemon that you ran into, like the future versions. For me,
yeah.
they're past versions. Not of the
What?
same Pokemon necessarily, but yeah, mine is a bunch of prehistoric looking weird things. Yours are like the modern looking
Whoa,
things. Yeah,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, because mine all look like they're like cybernetic.
yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there are two that overlap. The one that looks like Donphan, the one that looks like Volcarona, the
Mm.
big moth. Those
Hmm.
two have paradox forms of both future and past. I don't know why they didn't just do that for all for all of them, but whatever.
I
Um,
mean, more variety, I guess, but yeah.
yeah,
But no,
I
they're
guess.
pretty cool. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that secret area. Also, that secret area was like, it like reminded. It's very much reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 2's like secret area,
Mm,
which obviously for me is a big win. So
right, right.
no, it was very. It was nah, it was a great game. I was a fan. I was
Yeah.
clearly, clearly, it was alright. Like, it's like when they ask you, "How was your food?" Your plate's just absolutely devastated, and you're like, "It was alright."
Like if it weren't as glitchy and framey as it was, it would easily be one of the most beloved Pokemon games of all time. But because there are all those couple of things people can point out where it's like these games aren't perfect, so they're trash. People can get over themselves over that.
Dude, that is good. Look, can they send out like an update and then
Oh,
fix it at
oh
some
yeah,
point? Like,
absolutely.
is that good?
They've said that they're planning on updating it more in the future to
That's what I was thinking.
help.
I was
So
like, it's probably just gonna get patched and everything's gonna be fine. So like,
yeah,
that is one cool thing about games now. Like, because back in the day it was like, what you get's what you get.
mm-hmm.
But now it's like, like I mean, I'm not saying you can run, like it's like you shouldn't, but like I guess if you do plan to rush a game, you can't always cover your tracks, so to speak.
Right.
So
Yeah, there's probably going to be DLC sometime next year, and by
yeah,
either then or by then they'll have some kind of major update to fix it. So yeah.
it's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. One last little bit of news. There's a ton of other stuff I could talk about, but this is uh, actually yeah. I'll do two more things.
Okay.
First, the Suicide Squad game has been confirmed to be releasing on May 26th. So
Okay.
get you a PlayStation before then.
If I can find a PS5, gosh. I actually held one last week. I was like, we had a Christmas event at my church, and I like gave one away. This little kid won a raffle, so I like
Aw.
held it, and I was just like,
How heavy was it? Was it heavy?
it's not like heavy, but I needed two hands. Like it
Right.
wasn't like but it was just kind of like.
Like, you child, why do you get this but I
No,
don't?
and you know what was hilarious?
Mhm.
I handed it to her. She's like, I can't wait to play Fortnite, and I was like,
You can play it on your phone.
I don't know, and it's so fun because like the game it came with Horizon and like this nice super personal controller. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna play Fortnite. I was just like,
I had a mom at work today, like one of my coworkers at work asked me do you know anything about Fortnite? It's like, yes, I do. So where do I buy it? Because I went on Amazon and I didn't see a thing well, it's free to play, so you don't buy. You can technically go to the
just
store.
download it.
You can
But
technically go to the store and buy a box that they'll just have the download code in it, but just go to you don't get it off Amazon.
it's not like a physical. I mean, I guess not usually. Typically, you don't. There's
Yeah.
not a physical copy to it.
Yeah.
I mean, a physical. Well, there is no physical copy, but
It's just so funny to explain it because I have kind of hard time explaining stuff that I know, ironically stuff that I have just a deep intimate amount of information on. I have a hard time just what should I say to not overwhelm you while also getting
Right.
the point across.
well, yeah, that's the thing, because it's like you don't know where their baseline is, because obviously your baseline is you know how games work clearly. So it's
if I were to say, yeah, just go to the, I legitimately was just go to the eShop and will she know what the eShop is? On the
right,
Switch?
you have to explain.
Go to the online store on the system. I think she's getting
Yeah.
her son a Switch for Christmas. Go to the online store, type in Fortnite, download it for free.
Yeah, it's not. No, I mean, I would have just said it comes with it. You download it once you get it at the shop or online. But like, yeah, that's the thing. You have to like see, okay, where is their baseline? What do they know? So I could meet them where they're at. So I don't just, it's not just.
Yeah. But yeah, May 26th is a Suicide Squad. Recent trailer showed that Batman will be in it. It'll be the last portrayal of Batman by Kevin Conroy. So.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. It's gonna be. I'm a little curious how they're gonna handle that because, like, I hope they're not gonna kill him, right?
I mean, I don't think so, but I mean,
mostly,
then again,
mostly because I don't know if this Suicide Squad could kill the Arkham Batman.
I mean, can anybody? I mean, it's Batman. I mean,
like,
it's Batman. Like, you don't really, it's like, killing Batman is much easier said than done.
Right.
I mean, yes, he's human, but it's not really. It's Batman. Like, it's like he's just a human, but there's an asterisk by it. You know what I mean? It's like, they probably won't. I mean, I don't think they're going to kill any of the Justice League.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
So.
Like, that'll be their mission. I don't think they actually will.
No, there's no. Well, first of all, how are you going to kill Superman? I mean, unless you got a kryptonite gun or baseball bat, ain't no chance.
Deadshot might have. I don't know. Like, I mean, in that Apocalypse War movie, King Shark had kryptonite teeth.
Yeah, so, but at that point, I mean that at that point, kryptonite was just like passed out at that point because it's like that was. I mean, Superman had kryptonite in his body at that point, so it's like they're just. I mean, you can.
Like Luthor was on the team, he probably supplied just a
right. He probably had But then again, who knows? But then again, in that world, that was the least of their problems.
Yeah. So, last little bit of news I have. In the U.S., Amazon Prime Video subscriptions has officially passed the amount of Netflix subscriptions. Granted, you just get Prime Video when you sign up for Prime. But Prime, Amazon Prime, the fact that it's still, I think, $15, while Netflix is $20, is insane to me.
Yeah, because you get people get Amazon Prime just for the mailing benefits, not even for the video. But the fact that you get all that and the Baron Video for less than just Netflix, which is just video, is like.
Granted, not everything is free on Prime Video. Like, some stuff you can only rent or buy if you have
for sure
Prime Video, but there's still
a lot of stuff is free though.
Yeah, there's a ton of exclusive content. It's just I feel better content. I haven't watched everything on Netflix, but I feel like overall just generally higher quality content than stuff that's on Netflix overall. They actually appreciate that our animation teams that are there on Netflix. We're getting a new Invincible information sometime next month.
Yes.
So, yes. It'll release sometime next year. Good.
Please, it's we've waited long enough. It's time.
Yep. So, yeah, it's been kind of fun, especially this year, just kind of watching Netflix just kind of gradually become worse, just as a platform, as a company.
Price while doing so, also, which is very bold to say the least. But I go 3 years. They're almost done. They're running out of gas.
Granted, HBO Max isn't looking too hot either right now. Just right before recording, I saw a news thing that said that Justice League and Batman Brave and the Bold, the animated shows, are leaving HBO.
Where are they going?
I don't know.
Wait, the animated series are leaving?
The animated Justice League Unlimited and all that. Yep, and Batman Brave and the Bold.
That's half what I watch on there.
I know, right? I literally, my brother and I have been questioning, should we keep it? I don't know. I still watch some stuff on there. My roommate and I were after we finished Spectacular Spider-Man, maybe we'll watch Justice League. Well, That next month, that won't be an option.
That's so trash.
Correct.
First of all, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited is amazing.
Yes.
Just period. Like, how dare you? Like, what do you?
Like, yeah, where's
are they getting rid of all of the DC animated universe stuff, or like
as of right,
like all that, like, you know, 90s to early 2000s stuff, or
the Twitter thing I saw only mentioned it mentioned the Aquaman 67 show, Justice League Unlimited, Brave and the Bold. So I think Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Teen Titans, all that is still going to stay for now. But
why though?
No. Well, okay. For the record, HBO Max might not exist in 6 months, so they could just put it back on whenever it comes out. But I don't.
But why even take it off?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. Well, okay, actually, I do know, because if it's not on their service, they don't need to pay residuals to the voice actors. So, legitimately, that's part of the reason why they cancel / like remove stuff from their show, because from their service, because they don't have to pay residuals to stuff that they don't
technically show.
Yeah.
And then even though they're gonna put it right back on, I mean,
yeah,
as long as they bring it back.
Yes.
But you better bring it back. Because if somebody like Peacock gets Justice League Unlimited, I'm gonna be so mad.
I mean, if I cancel HBO, it frees up the money for something else. You know.
Yeah, but also, like, I could just keep that money. Period.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want Paramount to get it, just so I can just go ahead and bite the bullet on that. Because like I'm gonna get it at some point.
I don't think I am. I just don't.
Not even when the Netflix the Avatar shows come out on there.
I don't know. I'm still. Avatar is one of those things that, like, it. You can't mess with my heart. Like, I don't. I'm wary of anything Avatar related because the bar is so high that I have to hear it from somebody else first.
That's fair, yeah.
Because again, even though Legend of Korra is not bad, it's still not to that level.
Which I mean, I think it's unfair to. It's not unfair to compare. But it may be unfair to expect Korra to be as good as perfection.
Right! But it's also like... But there are certain things that I think Korra does better than the original. But at the same time, it's like... I think they had a lot more things to... Like, they had more complications. Because I think it was originally they only thought they were getting one season.
Yep.
And then they got more. So then, you know, things that happened, they had to change. And okay, we got to make that work. And then, you know, things change, and, you know, and they got thrown on the internet, which was like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But, you know, but still, I don't know. I can't. You're right. It's unfair, but I still, it's the natural comparison. You have to.
Yeah, but you know, the original people are making it, so it's not that, you know.
We'll see.
Unlike the Netflix thing that's happening, which had the original people, they left.
That one I ain't even touching. I don't trust Netflix at all.
The cast seems really good so far. So there's that.
That means nothing.
You're right.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but I do not
don't care.
You can have a great cast and still absolutely have trash writing. So
no, that's true.
it's for me, it's way more about. I'd rather have great writing and a bad casting than the opposite, because we'll see.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to bring up from this past week, month, year, life?
You know, I mean, this is more for me personally, but the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection did get a release date. It's April 14th. I'm super hyped. I said it to my brother. We've already got plans. It's going down. I'm so excited. Like it's gonna be fun. So I'm just, it's like, dude, I have a like 2023 is gonna be insane, dude. Like I am so excited for life going forward. So yeah, I'm for it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see you all next year. So with that, we'll see you next year. Bye.
Take care.